Hi guys, welcome back to new video. My name is Angad. I'm being accepted into a lot of top Ivies and best elite schools including Stanford, MIT, Harvard, Yale, Brown, Rice and many more. A lot of you might be wondering in the last video that how I got accepted into these top universities. Let's dive into the best 5 ways in this video that I invested in my summer and that helped me to get the dream schools that I was targeting 3 or 4 years back. The first one that I majorly target for my summer was internships. A lot of you might be wondering or juggles around which internship should I target. Let's say you are targeting computer science as a major. Then a question arises, which internship should I do or which internship should I target? So I'll tell you first of all the 2 ways where you could target the internship. So these are my strategies that I implemented in my summer or in my winter vacations, and that definitely helped me to get an internship spot whatsoever I was thinking in those days. Firstly, let's say that you are targeting Stanford as a dream school. Try to contact the professors of that particular university that you are targeting. So this is kind of a direct way of approaching the professors or direct way of getting the internships. Try to write the mails to the professors that I want a specific internship in this specific department. This is what I've did in last 3 to 4 years. This is my research interest, and I want to work in any project or in any internship. Believe me guys, if you mail around 100 to 150 professors for the school that you're targeting, you will definitely get a reply for that. Second is an indirect way, or more specifically, that's an application way. So every year there is like 40 to 50 applications that Ivy releases. For these applications, you need to fill those applications. These are like the internship applications, and just like your common app, you need to submit the details, the essays, and after the evaluation, if you are the perfect candidate for that, you will get the spot for the same. So in this today's video, I'm gonna tell you top 3 internships depending upon the major that a lot of you are targeting, and that will definitely help you to grab a good spot or your dream internship or your dream university that you are targeting. The next thing is that the online courses. When summer approaches or our winter vacations approaches, a lot of us have this tendency to waste those crucial period actually. Now in this summer period, or let's say if your transitioning is from junior to senior year, I'll be telling you what hot courses you need to complete or you need to do in your next summer, that is 2024, and that will not only boost your applications but also help you to grab a good spot in the best university or the top Ivies that you are targeting. Let's move to the third part that is more important in my perception, or that's what I did every year in my high school days. So let's say in my sophomore, in my junior, in my senior year, I did this thing in every year, that is community services. So community services, there are 2 additional points for that, or there are 2 perks for that. The number 1 perk is that the leadership skill that you will be learning from there. Second, apart from the leadership skill, the community network that you'll be forming from there. Now how these 2 things will help? These 2 things will help to boost your application, or more specifically when you're writing your common app essays or when you're writing a personal statement. A lot of universities straightforwardly ask you what were your leadership skills, XYZ, anything like that. So if you don't have these things under your belt, you can't hypothetically mention any story regarding the same. So this is my personal suggestion. If you're targeting, or if your dreams are very high, like I want to be in the top universities, I want to be that in Ivy segment, then try to invest your summer in some community services part. So I'll be telling you even some community services that you could target, or that what I did in my preparation days. So maybe you will get an idea how you could invest those days in a community services as a whole part thing. The fourth one is polish the essays. Now, let's say you'll be applying for 2025 applications. So your applications, or might be like 2025, you'll be starting your college. So your application is going to start in 2024. Now, more specifically, summer is a very crucial time for those who hardly have 3 to 4 months left to submit their essays, to submit their personal statements and all that stuff. Now, you also be engaged into your APs, you'll be engaged in your SDACD Prep. Now, what I suggest in those 2 or 2.5 months, try to polish your personal statement. Let's say you have a seven prompts that's common every year. Try to revise those prompts as per the work that you are doing every summer. So what I mean by polishing things, I mean try to increase the vocabulary of that personal statement or essay. Try to increase or make better that language. So in this video, I'm gonna even tell you how you could even polish your essays, or what are the best tips and tricks to polish your essays if you're writing the last hour. Last but not the least, that's one of the most important part, your academics part, that is your SAT or ACT prep. So I'll be even telling you how you could invest your time for your SATs, your APs, and how you could manage all these stuff, your extracurriculars, your academics together and excel and get a good dream university or a spot that you are targeting. So let's start with the very first, guys, that is the research internships. There are like a lot of internships that you could target. But for this video, more specifically, for you, I have only filtered the 3 internships depending upon the different majors that you guys will be doing. So let's start with the very first, that is SSRP. So SSRP is Summer Science Research Program. Rockefeller University is one of the famous research institute that conducts this internship every year. The Rockefeller itself is a name for a lot of research opportunities as they provide, and for the students who actually want to target biology, computational chemistry, pharmacology as a major thing. So if you are in those category where your major targets are more specifically in the research domains, or if you want to target life sciences as a major, let's say biology as a major, chem as a major, or neuroscience as a major, and you want a real lab experience, go for this SSRP program, guys. It is definitely a very competitive. Normally, every year they have 30 to 35 spots, but the perks for this program is that if you get into the Rockefeller or the SSRP program, you will gain real lab experience. You will learn how things actually works in the real world environment. Second thing, this whole thing will reflect a lot in your applications, that this will not only boost your essays, but that will boost your extracurriculars part even. So if you are in those category, guys, that you want something, a research, or if you're a research oriented guy, go for the SSRP thing. Second, most of you actually are in those category, like where your fascinations are like towards cosmos, your fascinations is towards space science, and you want to learn more about how things actually works in space science, how cosmos actually really works. Even I was really fascinated in my days. I want to know how extraterrestrial life, if it exists, then how it exists on other planets, how black holes even works. So if you're in those category, your aims are like, or your dreams are like, or you want to major like physics, you want to major like astrophysics, you want to major like computational physics, these categories you are targeting, then go for ISSYP, that is Perimeter Institute. So Perimeter is very famous institute in Canada, and it's a laboratory, so a space lab actually, so where they conduct every year space program for the high school students, more specifically for the senior year students, and their major projects are in the domain of astronomy, space science, physics, and third category they even go for the aerospace part also. So if you are in this category, your research interest more specific is in the astronomy part, the physics part, go for the Perimeter Institute. It's located in Waterloo, Canada, and go for that. Apply for the applications for the 2024 cohort. Applications are already open for SSRP, even for the Perimeter Institute. Let's move to the third category, guys, or the third one. This is majorly for those who are targeting pre-meds as a major, or they want either they want to go the pre-med section, or they're either targeting any life science section, let's say biology, chem, or neuroscience, immunology, like these majors. So if you're in this category and if your dream school is Stanford, you want to be in Stanford Medical School, you want to do your pre-med in Stanford, SIMR, that is Stanford Institute of Medicine Research. Stanford every year conducts a research program for US citizens, more specifically, where you will get a chance to do a real lab experience, or you will get a real lab experience and you could work with the professors, you could work in the real lab, and you will learn a lot of things, how things actually works before medicine and how the real things works after the medicine. So yes, if you are in this category of the medicine segment, you want something like a way good medical school, whether that's Yale, whether that's Johns Hopkins, whether that's Stanford, go for that SIMR. Same, applications opens like in December, mid somewhere around, so have a look over the dates and all and try to fill this application. So this is all about how you could invest your summer, for the internships part and for the research part. Now let's move to the second part, guys, that is the online courses. Now there are a lot of courses, like I struggle a lot when I was seeing a lot of courses over internet. I even doubt like which course should I pick that best for my major, or that could help me to boost my application. So there are two platforms that I filtered out for you. The number one is the Coursera, and the second is the MIT courseware. So one by one, I'll be telling you which best courses you could target for common majors, whatsoever you are targeting, whether that's liberal arts, whether that's comp science, whether that's pre-meds, or whatsoever you're targeting. And the second, I'll be telling the best courses for the MIT courseware, that is OCW. MIT courseware are the courses that have been published by MIT as a university. So let's start with the Coursera. In Coursera, the number one course that I personally like, or I normally suggest to all my students, is Machine Learning by Andrew Ng. So if you are in that category, that you want to target comp science as a major, or you want to target, let's say, computer science engineering, electrical engineering, computational finance, or courses that are more interlinked with computer science, then go for the courses by Andrew Ng. I personally done these courses and they're like way awesome. So go for the machine learning, as well as if your hands-on experience will be like after doing this course, you get the things in a more better way. There has an additional course for that is deep learning too. So the combination of these two is like way awesome. If you are into that category, that you want to see how AI really works, how things actually works with the robotics part, how things work AI as a whole, and you want to learn machine learning and deep learning and still juggling out which best course should I do, go for machine learning and deep learning course by Andrew Ng. Second course is the Science of Well-Being by Yale University. So this is a common course for everyone. Like if you're in the pre-meds category, if you're in comp science category, whatever category you are, I normally suggest to know about your well-being, you need how things actually works. So this course is common. Whatsoever major you're targeting, I specifically say, try to complete this course, and that's specifically provided by the Yale University. Let's go to the third one, that is COVID-19 Contact Tracing by Johns Hopkins. Now this course is more specifically for the pre-med section, those who are into the category of the pre-meds and they want a good school like Yale, they want a good school like Johns Hopkins, and these are like your dream colleges and dream universities. Then try to have a look over how COVID actually works. And if you are into those category, I want to learn how COVID spreads, as a virus, how does it works, how things in an interior way, in a microscopic way, things were working there. Go for these courses. There are like 6 courses out there. I'm just touching or giving a base of 3 to 4 courses. So you're going to have a look which courses is best suits for your major. These are like the top 6 courses that is suitable for every major or for every student whatsoever you are targeting for your college. The last one that is for the data science that being provided by IBM. So normally a lot of students, so this is like, I'll tell you a tool. Data science is kind of a tool, or it's like a prerequisite for most of the majors. If you're into the segment of business, if you're into the segment of management, if you're in the segment of finance, and you want something that you want to learn, what are the different tools I could analyze the data, what are the different tools I could explore the data. So data is everything. Whatever major you'll be doing, whether that's com science, whether that's pre-meds, you'll find data for that. So that's my personal suggestion. Before entering into the university, try to do some courses where you could have a handsome experience as well as knowledge of programming language, even some tools like machine learning, deep learning, and the third as a data science. So these are like for the course era ones. Now let's move to the second, that is for the MIT, that's been provided by MIT. A lot of courses are there, but I'm just giving you an idea about 1 or 2 courses. So first one is linear algebra. Now more specifically guys, when you'll be diving into these very fancy names like machine learning, deep learning, data science, they have a prerequisite for that. So the prerequisite is linear algebra. Linear algebra is more or less same like the algebra 1 and algebra 2 topics and whatever you did. And if you are the ones who are even struggling in your algebra, I think this is the best course provided by MIT, and I really like this course. Even I did this course when I was in my sophomore year. I personally suggest you go for this linear algebra course. This will not only help you to complete these courses, but also helps you in your preparation also. Second one is for more specifically for the ones who are into the segment of the computational finance, or in the segment of management, in the business, who are planning these stuff as a major. So rather than your AP economics course, I personally suggest go and have a look. So let's say in your senior year, most of you will be doing AP micro or macroeconomics who are targeting finance as a major. So before diving into AP economics thing, better for a prerequisite, go for the principle of microeconomics. I also did this course, and this course helped me a lot to get a 5 out of 5 in both AP micro and macroeconomics. Let's move to now the third one, that is the volunteer and the community services. So as a volunteer and the community services as a whole, I already told you, like, this one will helps you a way lot in your common app essays, even in your personal statements. Now, how as a community you could contribute? Now, there are a lot of communities that being you being a part of, or even your school tells that you do this work, and might be here and there you see a lot of communities that could be part of. Now, there are some communities that where I personally like to work more, or I personally think that will impact a lot when you're writing your essays, that are the religious communities. So why religious communities? So let's say every religion has some communities there. So let's say if you're Christian, Christians have their own communities there. Let's say if you are Hindu have their own communities. If you're Sikh have their own communities. So what I mean, go to churches, go to gurudwaras, go to temples, and pick one community, try to do some work on that. So I'll tell you one story. Might be this story will help you to frame the things, and you will get a better idea for that, how you could invest your time as a community and a volunteering as a whole. So one of my student, what we did, she was targeting Stanford as her major, and she got that. So for her pre-meds, let's say in summer, what he did, and this is my observation, that what I observed, a lot of women's didn't have an education of cervical cancers in states. And this is what I've observed in California itself. A lot of women are dying, or after breast cancer, cervical cancer is the second deadliest disease for the women. Now the reasons were very simple. The number one, the kits were not available for the women for the early screening part. Second, the detection was late. And the third, there was not much information that was there in the community of the women's, or like those were not very educated. So what he did, we open our own community. We take a help of a religious community that is from a nearby temple. And in the nearby temple, we make a lot of posters and do an advertisement, not an advertisement, but we tell the women what is the importance of the early screening, what cervical cancer is all about. Now, what helped actually in this whole thing? The first one, we raise a certain amount. We did a crowdfunding of $8,000. First of all, this act as your skill as a crowdfund. Second, the additional skill that that highlights in your profile is the leadership skill. Third, the contacts that you form when you're working with those communities or when you're working with that women. So I'm personally telling you guys, if you are into those categories, if you're thinking that your SAT score or your academic scores will help you to get into the top schools, you, I think, going in the wrong direction. Implement these things and you will really thank me and I'm assuring you, if you do this thing, you will definitely get a dream spot, or you'll definitely get the university that whatsoever you're targeting. So I think I spoke a lot about the internships part, community service part, and the secondly, I put a lot of emphasis on the second part, that is online courses. My bad. All right. Now let's move to the fourth one, that is polishing your essays. How you could polish your essays. So essays are the integral part of your application, or like one of the most important part when you are framing the things whatsoever you did in this last 3 or 4 years of time. Now essays are very important. How you could utilize your summer for the essays is that try to reframe that. Try to polish that, try to add additional points that whatsoever you did in your whole 3 or 4 years. If you're missing some point, try to reanalyze that thing. I'll telling you some tips there, how you could craft your essay in a more better way or in a more attractive way. Or these are some strategies that helped me even to get into the top Ivy universities as an offer that I got. The number one tip is that craft a story. So for example, if you have some story in the back of your mind, I mean, let's assume in this way, I'm telling you a hypothetical story that I put in my essays. So in my case, I was targeting as a neuroscience and microbiology as a major. So what I did, this is just an example I'm giving you. As per your major, you could craft your story in a more attractive way. So what I personally think, when you're crafting a story in your essays, reader actually likes that, and there is a flow that is formed, and we want that flow. Other than that, when you're forming your story, try to put some emotional punch there. So let's say what I did when I was framing an essays for Georgia Tech, or let's say when I was framing an essays for Yale, I remember that there was one essay in my days, and for that I put a hypothetical story that my grandmother died from colorectal cancer, and due to that my focus for cancers increases a lot, and my research career starts from there. So let's say I put in this story format, and so when I was in sophomore year, my grandmother died due to colorectal cancer. And due to that, I started my whole journey of the research, and this is why I started my journey of the internships and all that stuff. So just like that, I'm giving an example. You could frame a story where you have some emotional punch, and that makes more relevance for the work that you did. So in my case, my internship part was making more relevance, or my research part was making more relevance for the story, that how I started those internships. So try to mold your essays, make in a story format. First, and the second point that I've mentioned here, the second point also say the same thing, that try to evoke the emotions and reveal the characters in that. So that's about the thing. And the third point that I want to tell, try to make it very crisp, to the point, and clear structure. Don't exaggerate the things. I mean, whatsoever happened in a real life, try to mention that only. Don't try to deviate the paths. A lot of students I've seen, when they're writing their essays, first of all, they pick this story, like 3 stories they have, they combine this and they'll make a one essay. No, this one never works. Try to make one and make one as best. For the fourth one, that's what you need to utilize your whole summer. Try to first of all make the vocabulary of your essay more and more better way. Now, how you could do that? Make or increase your vocabulary skills in your summer. Try to increase your vocabulary. Either there are a lot of platforms. One platform that I could tell you is dictionary.com. So in dictionary.com, you get one word every day. Try to, I say, memorize those words. I mean, 5 words a day. If you memorize a month, you have 150 words. And see, if you have 150 words you're learning in a month, in 3 months that's gonna be 450 words. If you learn those 450 words, I'm damn sure, guys, you'll not only improve your essay thing, but additionally you're increasing your vocabulary skills also. Last one, this what I personally say, as we are living in a digital era, a lot of things are just a lot of things we could do just in few clicks. Now, when you're writing your essays, please make sure, or this is like, I think, one of the most important point while you're writing your essays, don't use any AI tool for that. I've evaluated a lot of essays. I've evaluated like 500 plus essays, and what I've seen, a lot of students, what they're doing this year, they're generating the essays from ChatGPT or any other secondary tool. So what I try to say here is that try to write your own words. Don't try to use the words that are generated by any AI software or any AI tool. So this thing matters a lot. The reason being, when your essays are evaluated, there is PLAG report that is done. So if your PLAG comes around to be more than 10%, your essay directly gets rejected. So try to not to be in that category. Follow these 5 points, 5 strategies when you're writing your essays, and I'm damn sure, guys, that these strategies and these tips will not only help you, but if you frame your essays in this way, I'm very much sure you will definitely get an offer letter from these top universities. Let's move to the last one, that is your SAT or SDACD Prep. So your whole summer, let's say you'll be your SAT is very near. You are targeting August, November, or the October one. Now, better is that those 2 or 3 months you try to invest a very good amount of time in your preparation for SAT as well as SAT. So try to solve more and more questions. So this is what I did when my summer vacations were there. Regularly, I make a whole timetable for that, and 4 to 5 hours I regularly study. So let's say 2.5 hours I invest time for my English part, and 2.5 hours I invest for maths part. So you need to parallelly manage both the things. The number one gonna be your extracurriculars, and second gonna be your academics. And if you merge this thing together, the final result gonna be the university that you are targeting. So try to invest your good amount of time in your preparation of your SATs, and don't waste this time in some other stuff. So better if you invest those times in learning something. Let's assume in this way, if you're not even getting a good university there, you will learn from this process. So, and you will definitely like this whole journey, that whatsoever you did in your whole summer. So these are like the top 5 strategies, guys, and the top 5 tips that I've given you here. And if you will definitely implement that, I'm very much sure no one could stop you from the best schools or the elite schools that you are targeting. So LurniGo as a whole, guys, I'll tell you, for more such videos, first of all, do subscribe the channel. If you don't like the things, or if you want anything that I should improve, or any other information that you want in my videos, drop down in the comment section. I'll make the next video on that. Secondary thing, LurniGo as a whole, we provide a roadmap to the students to get into their universities or the dream school that they're targeting. So these are some of the strategies, or these are some of the key features that even I provide to the students, or even LurniGo provides student as a whole. Number one is that we provide a personalized roadmap strategy. So let's say you are struggling that what gonna be the strategy for my whole SAT thing that I'll be preparing in my summer. So I'll be framing a personal strategy for you, where I'll be telling you from top to bottom what will be the best strategy that you could follow for your summer, or let's say for your 1 or 2 years of time. Second thing is a real world mock test sessions. So for SAT or ACT thing, the number one major loophole that I personally observe a lot of the students is that the mock tests that they're doing that are not like a real world scenario is there. So what we are doing here, we are giving the mock test sessions that act as a real mock test that you're doing your real digital SAT exam. Third one is that instant doubt clarification. So if you have doubt anytime, we have a doubt supports here. You could ask your trainer, or you could ask anytime, like in our groups, you post your doubts there and your doubts will be clarified. You don't need to wait for your teachers in your school to revert back, or to clarify those doubts. 24/7 we are available for you. If you have any doubts, you could just just let us know in the group, and we are there for you. The fourth one is the fortnightly group brainstorming sessions. So this is what my personal observation. Test makes you more better. So let's say you're learning any topic. If you're not testing that, you won't know how you are preparing for that, or how you are good amongst the crowd that who is giving that SAT thing. So what we did, we created a pool of a lot of students, and we will provide you the test that is more specifically in the P2P format. So P2P format gonna be, the first will be your fortnightly test. In the fortnightly test, we'll be providing your tests every 15 days to testing you how things are really going so far with you. And the last will be a grand test, where you will be competing with a lot of students in your network, and whosoever is giving SAT, and you will get to know where I'm actually lacking. And the last one is that dedicated counselor support. So for example, you want any counselor support, that how to get into the universities, how I frame the essays, what are the best ways to get the internships. So we have a dedicated counselor for that, and definitely that counselor will help you get the universities that whatsoever you're targeting. You could even follow us on our Instagram channel. The name is LurniGo SF. And I think that's all for today's video. If anything is there, just let me know in the chat box.